Hey guys, it's Luke. I'm back, and today we are driving the 2017 Honda Fit. Now, this is actually my sister's car. She just started driving a week ago, and we picked this up over the Memorial Day sales, or is it Labor Day? I always forget. Don't criticize. I just can't remember the difference between those two holidays. It's so annoying. But yeah, we just picked this car up, and today I'm going to give you guys a little review on why the Honda Fit is one of the best small cars you can buy. Now, let's start off with the styling. I think the Fit looks great. Now, trying to get a car that's this boxy to have any stylistic cues is very hard because, I mean, effectively it's a box on wheels, let's be real here. But I think they added a lot of great styling cues to this car. Starting with the front end, I really like the black grille. It matches super well with the blue paint on this car, and it goes well with the black accents that you see throughout the car. You have black accents on the mirrors, you have them on the wheels, you have them on the bumpers, and I just think it looks great. I really like the headlights too. It kind of reminds me of the older Honda Civic that they used to sell in Europe in the way that the headlights are designed. It kind of looks like a spaceship from the front end. It's a super futuristic design. Moving along to the sides, they have these really aggressive lines in the doors that just cut through the center of the doors and then flow into the rear taillight. And it looks super aggressive and makes sure that the sides don't look like flat sheets of metal. It kind of adds some character to the sides of the car. And the back, I think, is where this car looks the best. The tail lights look awesome. They're well sculpted and they're incorporated into the rear hatch to make it look super awesome. And it just adds to that overall spaceshipy vibe. I just feel like this car looks really modern and really hip. And completing the look are the 16-inch alloy wheels that you get on the EX model that I'm driving. They look awesome. They have black inserts that just add to the look. The whole thing's epic. And for 16s, I think they really pop. They don't look too small. They don't look like you could go for a larger wheel. I think they fit the car really well. Now let's talk about the powertrain. It's nothing special, but it works. It is a 1.5 liter four-cylinder. That's tiny, but it manages to put out 130 horsepower. Now, you can get this engine mated with a 6-speed manual or the CVT, and the manual is the one that we have in this car, and it returns really good fuel economy. Not quite as good as the CVT, obviously, because 6th gear is pretty short to make the most of that 130 horsepower, but it's respectable. The CVT will get better gas mileage, though, as I said. And this shifter is actually really nice to use. The actual shift knob itself feels a little cheap because it's just a little black plastic ball. It's nothing special at all, but the actual shift feels pretty good. The throws, they're not that long, and you can really feel them snap into gear. It's just a very good feeling shifter. And the clutch, it is actually really interesting. It's probably a great clutch for someone that's new to stick shift because the engage point lasts forever. You can play around with that engage point, and it's really hard to stall this car. I was really surprised when I first drove it because the engage point does last for a long period of time. The clutch travel isn't very long, and it's just a very good car for a beginning stick shift driver. And the pedals are positioned really well for heel toe downshifts and all that good stuff. Now, let's talk about the driving experience of the Honda Fit. Now, as you might expect, 130 horsepower isn't all that much, but it's enough to get the Fit in the manual transmission format from 0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds. And honestly, it doesn't feel very slow at all. If you're in the right gear, you actually have plenty of power, in my opinion. Obviously, it's not fast. Let's be real here. It's 130 horsepower in a subcompact car. It's not going to be fast, but that's not what you buy it for. And I think the stick shift just adds so much to the driving experience. And it's great because it means my sister gets to learn stick. That was part of the argument that I took when trying to convince her to get this car. And I think it was a great decision. So overall, the steering feel is good. It's a little light on center, but not in a disconnected way. Like, it's very easy to maneuver this car. I think it's great for driving around in cities because it has an insane turning radius. And once you're driving on back roads, like, it's direct, it's light and communicative. I mean, obviously it's electric power steering, but what are you gonna do? That's just the way the world's going nowadays for better fuel efficiency and whatnot. But overall driving experience, I give it a very solid score. I think it drives great, especially considering the class that it's in. Now let's talk about some of the features that you get on the Honda Fit That's obviously important because when you're getting a small car, you want something that has good value, and I think the Fit returns for sure. This EX model starts at around $18,000, and for that you get Honda's lane watch, which means when you flick on your right turn signal, a camera shows up on the display here. Very good graphics, and it basically reveals your blind spot, and I think that's awesome. It's a very nice feature, especially for new drivers or if you're just wanting an extra safety feature. Also on the left stalk, you can just push a button on the stalk and have the camera come on whenever you want. Now, in addition to that, you also have this 7-inch display here. This being the 2017 model, it doesn't have a volume knob. And you may be thinking, oh, it's not a big deal, the slider probably works well. And I mean, it's okay. It's just so inconvenient having to press a button, have the slider come up, and then slide for the volume. I just feel like it's an extra step that shouldn't be added, and luckily Honda agreed with that because they, for 2018, they put the volume knob back in. But the 7-inch screen, it has good graphics and whatnot, but I just think it feels a little outdated compared to some of the newer displays that are out there, and it's not the quickest to respond. It's a little bit laggy, and it's not quite as clear-cut as some of the newer systems out there, but overall, it's not bad in any way. I mean, I just wish there were more physical buttons. That's the problem. It's all touch capacitive stuff, and that may work great, but like I would much rather have physical buttons, and I think you guys would agree. You also have manual climate control, and you have cloth seats. If you jump up to the EXL, you can get leather seats that are also heated. But you have steering wheel controls, cruise control, Bluetooth. You have a 180-watt sound system that actually doesn't sound that bad at all. And the thing about this Fit is that it just feels so much more premium than the old one did. You have this stitching on the dash. The lower part of the dash is soft touch. The top part, hard plastic, but I don't think anyone that drives this car is going to go around touching the top of the dashboard, let's be real. The steering wheel, it's kind of a soft material. It's not stitched or anything, but it works out fine. And I think the interior on this car just looks so much better than the old one. You have these aluminum accents around the air vents and below the dash padded material here. The knobs are huge for the climate control, so easy to use, massive knobs, and overall the controls are super simple and easy to use, disregarding the touchscreen. Now, I think one of the coolest features about this interior has to be the magic rear seats, which I am about to demonstrate. Hey guys, so now we are going to describe the Honda Fit's magic seats. So first, the bottom seat cushions will fold up so you can stack stuff on the floor here. As so. Now you have a nice open load floor for any type of luggage with the seats up. Now, of course, the seats fold flat. Now, you have a nice open load floor, stack longer items, top of the rear seats. And last but not least, what I think the coolest feature of the Magic seating system is the lounge position. Now, watch this. And then you can get in there, lounge out, be nice and relaxed. Besides those magic rear seats that make the Fit an amazing car, I just think there are a bunch of other features that are super cool. For example, on the left to the steering wheel up here, there is a cup holder that pops out right next to the air vent. Now you may be thinking, oh, that's cool to just pop a drink there so it's easy access to the driver, but also you can use the air vent to cool or heat the beverage to your liking, which I think is a really clever feature, especially on a car that costs this much. Now you also have a boatload of trunk space because the trunk floor is nice and low, so you can really go and stack stuff high. Also, the seats, like I said, you can fold those flat for extra room. And overall, I just think it's one of the most versatile small cars you can buy. The amount of cargo room you get in here is absolutely ridiculous. Now, the rear legroom is insane too. I don't know how they did it, but they managed to get the rear seats to be so unbelievably spacious. This 2-stage recline, which is perfect. Lots of knee room, lots of foot room. I'm 6'2", I fit back there perfectly fine, plenty of headroom, and it's just a great place to be, plenty comfortable. I have no problems back there. I would not be upset if I was back there for a long trip. Now, let's talk a little bit about the refinement of the Fit. You may be thinking, that it's a loud box, and to be honest, you wouldn't be wrong. On the highway, there's a fair amount of road noise, a little bit of wind noise, just because, I mean, it's a box on wheels, let's be honest. But the ride, it's not as bad as it could be. It soaks up bumps for the most part. It being such a short wheelbase vehicle, it kind of hops and jumps over some of the bumps, but I wouldn't say it's unrefined in any way. Like, it's totally tolerable. I'm doing 50 miles an hour right now, and yeah, there's a fair amount of wind noise, but honestly, I really don't have any complaints. For a small car like this, when you have so much versatility and whatnot, it really does make a lot of sense to buy this car and just kind of take the sacrifice on some wind noise and some road noise. Chances are the people that buy this car aren't going to care about stuff like that, if I'm brutally honest. It's just not what you're buying the car for. It's an inexpensive, versatile car. Now, adding to the overall appeal of the Fit are some really cool features that I wouldn't expect to have. Like, you get a sunroof, you have this really nice pattern on the seats here that looks kind of premium, and overall, there are some cheaper bits, like the top of the door panels here, they're not soft touch. I mean, they really should be. Not even the padding here is soft touch where you put your elbow. It's just not as refined in that sense as I would like it to be, but everything you see just looks really well executed, really well thought out. Talking about the gauge cluster, a very large speedometer in the center. You actually have these lights on either side of the speedometer that change color. When they go really green, that means you're driving efficiently, and when they go blue to red, that means you know that you're being a dick. But other than that, you have this really cool circular gauge here. It tells you your mileage, your trip computer, outside temperature, fuel economy, all that stuff. And the steering wheel controls are super easy to use. You can operate the screen from the steering wheel as well for your phone, audio, and all that good stuff. Works out well. Now, overall, the reason you're gonna buy the Fit is you're probably a younger person looking for something super versatile, something super efficient, but it's still relatively fun and quite inexpensive. And that fit all of my sister's requirements perfectly. She's a new driver, so she wanted something safe. This has a 5-star safety rating. It also has very good features for the class, such as the 7-inch display, the lane sensing, all that stuff. And it's just so unbelievably versatile. The magic seats in this car are amazing. So much room, great for road trips and whatnot. And it just hits everything so well in terms of just being a great small car that's reliable, relatively fun, practical, efficient. It's very solid in all of those regards. Now, let's talk about the personality of the Fit. I think this car has oodles of personality. It is just a cutesy, fun car, and it's just like, it's not begging you to go fast, just like, hey, give it a little more gas, have a little more fun. Like, it's one of those cars that's just like fun to chuck around. It's very innocent. That's one way I describe this car. It's an innocent little car. It just wants to go out, have some fun, and I just think that in terms of a small car, that's something you want. You don't want to have a small car that just drives like crap and feel like you've driven a small car where the engine feels strained and it just feels like a very unpleasant experience. You don't get that in the Fit. It feels like a willing companion no matter what driving position or driving situation you put it in. Now, the closest competitor to the Fit is the Scion IA. Now, you may be thinking, oh, that's not a hatchback and it doesn't have the versatility, and you'd be right, even though the trunk is big. But I must say, I haven't driven the stick shift IA, but just the handling in general on the IA is quite a bit better than the Fit. Like, it drives very, very well. The steering has a lot more feel and whatnot, but the Fit still has a lot of that, plus all of this added versatility, and I think that is probably going to appeal to a lot of buyers, which is why the Fit still outsells the IA by a considerable amount. Makes perfect sense to me. So overall, thanks a bunch for watching this review. I hope you check out more Motor Minds. We have a lot of great footage coming up recently. I hope you guys really want to press that subscribe button. I hope you enjoy the footage. Of course, like, share with your friends. Find us on Facebook and other social media sites. Drop us a line. Please comment if you have any requests for videos or more stuff we'd like to address, any ideas, or if you just want to get in touch, please do. As always, it's been great bringing this review to you, and we look forward to having you watch our next video.